Welcome back to Bleach Rebirth of Souls. Listen, we got a good one for you today, because that's right, we're talking about the big bad himself, Aizen. That's right, my guys, this is a full guide on Aizen. I'm going to go ahead and let you know something right now. This is one of the most complex characters in the whole game, so strap in. Alright, so first things first is this character is basically 4 characters baked into one. Yes, there is 4 different stages when it comes to this main man, Aizen. And let's go over the first stage, his first form. Now, one thing to note about Aizen is his movement isn't the best. He's best at sidestepping. Now, don't take that lightly. Sidestepping is everything in this game. You gotta break the ankles. Alright, as for his light and heavy combo strings, they are pretty slow, so you have to time them moderately or you will get knocked back from it. Now, they do cause a little bit of stagger, but you got to execute correctly because they are kind of slow on startup frames. They're pretty decent stagger on them themselves, but again, you're going to really have to time it out because he's going to get beat out by a lot of people on first hit. Now, the way this man's tilt work is pretty special because he technically has 3 and it revolves around this mechanic that triggers it. And yes, this mechanic is unique to just him, and it's called Inexhaustible Spiritual Power. This is Aizen's spiritual power bar. Now, it charges up on its own while you're in motion, but it charges up even faster while you're standing still. But that's not just it. It comes with an extra attachment. You see those 5 little flame spots over it? Yeah, those are his spiritual power stocks. And when the bar increases and fills up, you get a new stock. He has 5 stocks total. And for every 2 stocks that are filled, things change in his moveset, aka his tilt. So now that things are coming full circle, we're going to demonstrate his tilt when he only has 0 to 1 stock. So his first tilt move is called Assault, and it's not really that special. All you do is just slash your opponent. It has decent to mid range, and it just sends them flying to buy you a little bit more time. And the huge drawback to this first tilt is it has no follow-up potential and negative frames, so I highly recommend don't even use this one or use it sparingly. Now let's get into his second tilt, Hado number 54. And that's right, my boys, you can activate this one when you have 2 to 3 stocks. Now this is where things start to get pretty good. It unlocks a projectile, has great range, but a little bit of a slow startup, but with right spacing, it becomes an amazing poking tool. And it also does pretty decent damage too, taking 900 reishi from the opponent. Now let's get into his third and final tilt, Hado number 91, and it also takes 4 to 5 stocks. Now this move can do a lot of damage and apply a lot of pressure. It just doesn't have the fastest startup time. He sends a barrage of spiritual power at the opponent, and I'm not gonna lie, it does a lot. But it's not just that, he can also choose to switch between his Hado number 91 and 54, depending on if he holds down their tilt or not. And this could definitely be used as a tool to mix up your opponent. You know, really put him in a blender. Alright, next let's get into his signature move. It's called Powerful Spiritual Pressure. Now this move is definitely interesting and it has the same nature as a counter. So a signature isn't movement based, he actually stands still and you have to bait your opponent into hitting. So technically you can press the button once and it can still go off, but you get way more value if you hold the button down. And what this does is basically gives you super armor while you're charging the move, and it reduces damage dealt to yourself. Now if you charge it too long, it does go off by itself, but if somebody hits you, it'll go off and deal more damage to the opponent. So this move is inherently tricky in nature, but if you time it correctly, you can definitely get the execution off. Alright my guys, now let me put you on his spiritual pressure moves. His first one is called El Escudo. So this move is going to be vital to his whole kit. So what it does is it drains his guard gauge, but in return it gives you super armor. But definitely be cautious when you use this, because when your guard gauge goes to 0, you are left guard broken and you are vulnerable. Now, of course, this goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway. While you have this activated, you want to apply the most amount of pressure to the opponent. Really push them back, maybe get their guard gauge down, or just do flat out damage. Now, his second move is called Hado number 90, and this one's a trip. Now, you can only use this move if you have 1 stock or higher. Now, the reason being for this is that it consumes your stock whenever you use it. And of course, you guessed it, the more stock you have, the more damage this move does. Hold on my guys, that's not all. This move is also unblockable. Now the only downside to this move is that you have to be very close range to the opponent, but it is well worth it because any unblockable move is powerful. Okay, now it's the perfect time to talk about his special awakening. Now of course almost everybody in the game has a fighting spirit bar that makes it so that they can go awakening. But when his reaches at max, he automatically goes into his second form. Now once he gets to his second form, you notice that his spiritual power bar is X'd out. I personally call this form a restriction mode, and your main purpose for this form is to get out of it as fast as possible. Some moves do change, but you can't do as much as you could in other forms. Also notice how you don't have any stock, so you can't activate your Hado number 90. Now there are 2 things that essentially change, and they're his tilt and his signature. Alright, so as for his tilt, it's called Kageki, and what changes is he does like a 4 motion kick towards the opponent, but what I realized is you can't really do any follow-up after it. It does leave you a little bit negative. Now his signature is called Process of Evolution, and it actually does something a little bit more valuable in this form. Now everything is pretty much the same as his initial signature, but the difference is once you hit this one off, you get a significant amount of fighting spirit in your gauge. And the whole name of the game with this form is to get out of it as fast as possible, so you want to pull this off as much as possible. Now once your fighting spirit gauge is all the way up, you are able to manually awaken whenever you want. Alright my guys, now let's talk about his actual awakening. Now when he goes into this form, he actually gets a pretty good upgrade to his kit. Now in this form, you'll notice that Aizen is a lot faster and his combo strings have some additions to him. And one of the biggest things about this form is you get a major boost in attack damage dealt to your opponent. So another huge difference about this form is once you die and your fighting spirit gauge is all the way up and you're at 0 Kenpaku, you can come back and reawaken into your fusion state. Now I'm not gonna lie to you, Aizen becomes one of the strongest characters in this game when he uses this form. Alright, so everything about this form is completely upgraded. His combo strings have been extended to crazy levels. Go ahead and check this out. Now I want you to take a look at his spiritual power bar and notice how it's glowing and it shows an infinity sign. And yes, it is exactly what you're thinking. That means every spiritual power move you would do before is infinite now. It has no cooldown. So yes, you can easily spam in this form. Now let's get into his tool. It's called Sword Pressure. This is going to be one of your main tools while in this form. It is a projectile and you can use it to poke your opponent with it from far away. It has decent damage and speed, so this is definitely your go-to tool. Next, let's go into his signature. It's called Origins of Spiritual Pressure. Now this move is amazing because it becomes a full-on counter. If somebody hits you while your chest is glowing, he's going to teleport behind them and then knock them away with a whole bunch of spiritual pressure. Alright, next let's get into his new spiritual pressure moves. So this new move is called Power Transcending Soul Reaper and Hollow. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, it's crazy. So it's a move that has really fast startup and it dashes you into the opponent, and once it connects you start slashing them and then ends up pushing them back doing a lot of damage. This move is a really good finish or ender and you can use it to extend your combo. Now, his second spiritual pressure move is still the same. It's still Hollow number 90, but I want you to remember that there's no more stocks. So it's going to do the full max damage that it would if it had 5 stocks. Oh, and don't forget, my guys, remember that spiritual power meter at the bottom is infinite and never goes down. So yes, that means you can spam these moves. Now, there is one last thing that you can do with this character in this form, and that's his Kikon move. That's right, his ultimate, and it takes about 6 Kenpaku off your opponent. So definitely want to try to get that off at all costs. Now, here's a quick little combo showcase that'll really get your head in the game when it comes to Aizen. Check it out. Now I can't just leave you with that, my guys. Let me show you what it looks like with some gameplay. And there you have it, my guys. That's an Aizen breakdown for you that should really get you started, you know, get you on your way. Now, of course, there are definitely going to be more things that people find. And if I find something, I'll let you know, keep you updated. You know what it is. Hey, man, let me know down below in the comments what y'all think about this, man. How many of y'all are really using Aizen? And are you ready for that smoke if you see me online? Because I'm going to slap you up. Anyway, man, hey, you know what time it is. Hey, just locking down in them comments, all right? You know what to do. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to Cozy. I do a random subscriber shout out each video, so go ahead and hit that button, all right? If you like the video, then like the video. Make sure to wipe your booty and wash your hands. It's your boy Senju in Japan. I'll see y'all soon.